We are finally here. We finally made it through, and we had an extra long uh off season this time because the Penguins didn't make the
Wow.
playoffs.
Yeah.
So we've had a long. It's been like, oh my god, it's been like 6 months. Ugh, ugh. Anyway, hockey is back. Thank goodness we made it through.
Oh, it is 6 months.
It's been about 6 months. That's
Oof.
ridiculous. No, no, no. There should be hockey all the time.
Like the NBA. I feel like the NBA never takes a break.
I'm okay. I'm okay with. There should be like the baby Penguins should play during the summer,
Oh.
and they should play in Pittsburgh. Screw that. Wilkes-Barre sucks, but the baby there should be hockey all the time. In Canada, there probably is hockey all the time. They probably.
Well, they have other things. Well, when's that women's hockey? When are they going to be playing?
I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that.
Like the 9 teams or 6 teams that they have?
Is there a Pittsburgh team? I don't think so.
No, no. It's
Oh,
like it's
screw them.
practically the like Toronto, Detroit, like Chicago or something.
Toronto. Everything has to be about Toronto. Anyway,
Wow.
let's talk
Rare for
about
today.
let's talk about the uh just go over the teams, who's considered a favorite, who's considered a joke. Um okay. So here is how this is from Dom, blah, 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 lot of consonants and vowels in his name. Sorry, dude. From the Athletic. This is he has, and he puts them in tiers. The
Okay.
first tier is called law. This is I'm starting from the bottom. The first tier is just one team. It's called lottery favorite, and that's the San Jose Sharks. San Jose is not even trying. God bless them. Only problem is just because you win the lottery doesn't mean you're going to get the number one pick, and just because you get the number one pick doesn't mean they're going to be all that good. So,
Are
you know,
they in a
you
rebuild, I assume then? Well,
oh,
they did lose like, huh?
totally. That's why they got rid of Eric Carlson.
Burns and
They're just
that
they
other
just
dude.
yeah they're just
And
they're
what's
just in
his
a
face
rebuild.
that we got?
I mean, the Penguins gave up like nothing for Carlson, which is amazing.
Yeah, but like, listen, Carlson wasn't doing like, I mean, he was good, but he's on a team like that. You want to leave. You're not going to do anything. You're aging out,
In his
and you're in the middle of a rebuild.
yeah, exactly. In his at his stage, you know, of being old. What is he, 30 something?
He's probably
Um
like 32, and you'd be like, he's so old. I
he's,
think he was
he's it's, it's
36 as well.
amazing he could even walk. Yeah, when you're at that stage in your career, you don't want to stick around for a rebuild. You want to go to a contender. So it worked out for everybody. Okay, so the next tier is lottery contenders. And there's 5 teams: Anaheim, Montreal, I'm guessing that's Chicago, Columbus, and Philadelphia.
You're really like, here's the thing. Relax about the Philly because here it is. They have been pretty trashy for years, but they always put up a good fight against us. Like,
I don't care. I don't care. I want them. First of all, they've been in a rebuild for like 10 years now. What, did they bring back Ron Hextall or something like that? Or did Ron Hextall break him so bad that
I
they
would hope that it's not Ron Hextall at all because, then we would still be broken.
I don't know what happened. I don't know
You
what the heck.
know, they still have what? Hart? Isn't Hart their goalie? Am I
That's the
wrong?
thing. I think they thought he was like, their goalie of the future, and I don't think he's all that good.
I thought he looked good, but if you don't have a
Um,
defense to back him up,
listen, listen. I don't know how long a rebuild should last because hey, in a few years the Penguins are going to go through it. But
in a few years, ooh, we
yeah,
better hope it's not sooner than that.
maybe.
Because like sometimes you keep your stars around longer to teach the younger guys, like Lemieux and stuff. And you got three
Here's a
more
here's a
years
problem with
left
the
on your
Penguins. There are no
core.
younger guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Penguins' philosophy is bring in more old people.
Yeah, but if you look at Wilkes-Barre and stuff, they did bring some like younger guys. They're just down there, kind of like when we won the cup. I it's a decent core down there, I guess. He really worked.
No,
Dubas really worked on
no,
the
no. There is no
AHL.
there is no core. There is no core. They have terrible young people. It's all gonna be bad. Anyway, not to be critical.
Oh yeah, no,
Okay,
it's not.
so and Columbus is supposed to be really bad too, which is interesting.
But you know
Um,
what? I just listened to them sorry, on the XM and their preseason game. They weren't doing too bad. They sounded pretty good.
um, I think
They were against Buffalo
I
though.
think the I think Columbus is a team that's rebuilding that might actually pull off a rebuild. Not like do a perpetual rebuild like the Flyers or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, then we have there he has a category called bottom feeders, and there are no teams in that, which is weird.
Oh, that's
Then he has a category called long shots. And in this category, there's three teams: Arizona, St. Louis, and Washington Capitals. Holy crap.
Listen, I don't know this guy, so I'm just gonna like, okay. I think the Capitals aren't as terrible. They missed the
Oh,
playoffs though
I
too.
think they are. I
Yeah, but
think that's the story is the story is going to be that the young teams,
as
there's
bad as
young up and
Arizona,
coming. What?
as bad as Arizona.
Eh,
Like that's
eh,
my problem. See, here's the thing. Yes, I understand they missed the playoffs last year. I understand we did too. I feel like, and maybe it's I don't know, my fear. I don't think they're going to be as bad as maybe they think they are because I have a feeling Washington tends to surprise you. Like I'm not sure now. I don't know because I only know the people I talked to, and they were. I was like, the year that they won the cup after us, I was like, Washington's winning this year, and they were like, no, they're not. I'm like, dude, listen, I'm yes, they are. And then
Wait,
that's
well, you
when
mean
they
you
end
mean
up.
the year they won?
Yeah.
That was 5 years ago.
Oh, I know that it was 5 years
That's a
ago.
100 years in hockey
Yeah, that means that
years.
was six for us,
Ooh, that hurts.
and we missed the playoffs too.
See, that's the thing. That's the thing. I think that's the story of this year. Are the old teams, the Penguins and the Capitals, are they going to make way for the newer teams, the
You
the
mean like the
Red
younger
Wings,
teams?
the Sabers, the
I like how you say the newer
Senators?
teams and then you say Detroit. And I'm like, well, that's been around forever. I
Detroit,
know what you
but
mean
but
by
I mean
younger.
they're young. That's what I mean. I mean, yeah, they don't have Pavel Datsuk on the team anymore.
You, Dominic Hasek. You've totally lost. Like the thing is this is starting, and you can have seen the shift through the years to a younger game. When we won, we were fast. We had Sid and the kids. So like you had those like younger guys on the team. It was a nice mix. The problem is they are, I know you're gonna be like, they're so old now, and I understand that. Um, I don't know. I hate to talk about the Penguins, we're not on them yet, but like that last preseason game, to see Sydney like stick up for Letang, to show a little fight like in them, I do enjoy that. I think that's a good sign, but stick it.
See,
I think the Capitals
I
might
totally
surprise you.
agree. I think the Penguins are in way better shape than the Capitals, but I think that's a story is are the Capitals done? They missed the playoffs last year, and you could say, well, so did the Penguins, but the Penguins retold, and now so did the Capitals. The Capitals made a lot of changes,
Who
but
is the Capitals goalie though right now?
um the
I'm googling. Oh,
uh,
Darcy Kempner.
oh, he's not bad.
No, he's not.
He's not
I
bad.
think they just brought him in, didn't they?
I think it's just Ovechkin, and all they're going to care about is getting Ovechkin the record. Which, hey, cool, Mazel tov. I mean, the guy's amazing. The guy, the dude
Yeah.
has one. He is literally a one-trick pony, and it can't be stopped. All he does is just take those shots from the circle, and
He
and
never
and
passes.
he doesn't need to pass. Why
He,
would you pass it?
yeah, that's the one problem I had with him is that he is not a passer. He's very selfish with the puck. Hey, he can get it done, but like when you
Hey,
don't get it
he got
done,
it done. He got
not
it
when
done.
or did
And
not
those
last year, did he? Where's their Stanley Cup?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, Arizona plays in the Johnstown War Memorial. I think the War
They
Memorial holds more
could listen.
seats.
I think we could get that solidified if they would like to play in Hockeyville,
They should
USA,
move Arizona. They should move the Arizona
to
to
Johnstown.
Johnstown. The
The
Johnstown
Johnstown do is
Coyotes.
due a higher tiered
Hey, I'm
team.
not knocking them. Games at the War Memorial are awesome. I'm not that is a fun building.
I
Okay.
remember back in the ECH days with the Chiefs, and I want to say it might have been Wheeling, only because I remember them two were like huge rivals. And I think I've told this before, but I watched them have fights. People in the stands were fighting. Went to the bathroom. Two women almost threw down. I was like, this is the best thing ever.
No, wait, was this when it was the Chiefs or when
This
it
was when
was
they
the
were the Chiefs.
Oh yeah, the Chiefs were amazing. I've
Oh,
gone to many, many Chiefs games. Those were so much fun, especially when they play the Nailers, the Wheeling Nailers.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Let's go,
They
baby.
need that back, but so be it.
I totally agree. I totally agree. They should have Johnstown should have an ECHL team. Okay, so the next category is what he's calling outsiders. I don't know what. Okay, so this category is 4 teams: Seattle, Nashville, Buffalo, and Detroit.
I thought he put Buffalo already down there with the
No, no, no. That was Chicago. Chicago's
no
going to suck
before
this year.
that, like the
No,
second tier.
no. The second tier was Columbus, Philadelphia, Anaheim, Chicago, and Montreal. Those teams don't have a shot. Thank goodness. But yeah, Seattle, Nashville. I don't know that much about Nashville. Seattle made the playoffs last year. Still kicking my. If I can invent a time machine, I would go back in time and go to that Seattle playoff game when I was in Seattle. But anyway, Buffalo and Detroit. Buffalo and Detroit, I think, might contend for the playoffs, and that's the thing. That's the thing.
Maybe
It's
Buffalo. I don't know about Detroit. I still think they're kind of in the middle of that weird rebuild that they were trying
they
to do
have that.
last year. And
They
weren't
have
they
that.
the ones that couldn't hit the cap bottom? Were they one of the teams that were like, oh, we can't hit the cap floor, just give us everybody that you don't want? Or was that
Who
Chicago?
was that? That might have been Arizona. Might have
Oh,
been
I don't know.
Chicago. Might have been, yeah. That's bad. That's bad.
Yes.
You can't spend the minimum. Yeah, Buffalo, we'll see. Buffalo has been rebuilding for a while. Detroit's been rebuilding for a while. They have Iserman, so they think that they're on their way. We'll see.
I think Buffalo has a half decent shot.
Okay. The next tier is called insiders. I don't know what insiders mean, but okay, here's this tier. Islanders, Ottawa, and then in the West, LA and Vancouver, which I don't think Vancouver is going to be all that good, but whatever. And then Tampa Bay, another story. Tampa Bay is always awesome, but are they aging? And they're probably going to make the playoffs, but they're not one of those elite teams anymore.
Well, they've been relying on the same bunch of people, I think, too, down there. Stamkos, if he's still even around. Horrible.
Yeah, they are. And they're jerking him around. They're basically like, we don't want you, but we don't want you, old man.
Yeah, but here's a bunch of money. Pretend you're hurt for the whole season and then come on
Oh,
back.
I'm still mad about that.
It's a
They
loophole.
cheated that year.
It's
They
a
cheated that year.
loophole that they need to close.
They cheated.
They did it over there too, and Toronto does it because they gave out.
But not as
contract.
bad. Not as bad as Tampa. Tampa had their best player. And then all of a sudden, when the playoffs start, oh, here, this $9 million guy that we just added to our team. Nah, that shouldn't be allowed. But anyway,
They were the first to do it too.
no,
I think they were pretty much the first people to actually do it, and then
didn't they win the bubble? Didn't they win the COVID year too? That's another illegitimate Stanley Cup. They shouldn't even had it. Bubble hockey. Give me a break.
Or like it should have just been like finish it up at that point. You're already in a bubble. You finished the last 17 games or whatever you had. But I did like the bubble for the day around the clock hockey. Islanders, I think, are a little bit more gritty. They looked half.
No, the Islanders. The Islanders are the same. They're just like they're
I
good.
feel like the insiders means that they're gonna make the playoffs.
Probably these are probably teams
I wasn't
that are
sure. Like
now,
I'm just saying.
Now, of all the young up and coming teams, Ottawa is like I think the best of all those.
They made some good moves.
Did they make the playoffs last year? No, they didn't. But they came real close. So
they had a decent year for the Senators last year. Then they have a new owner.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's finalized. Did it finally get finalized?
Yeah.
It's been taking forever.
Yeah, they signed the papers. And it wasn't Ryan Reynolds, unfortunately.
Bummer. But
is he cute?
all right. I think he's
I think he's okay.
I think you know what, his
He's okay.
personality really shines, and I think that's why people find him
I mean, I
attractive.
love him because I watched that Welcome to Wrexham, and I mean, he just seems like a cool dude. And he basically took like the worst soccer team in England and made it good. So
You're
I think that's
talking to
really impressive.
somebody who thinks Phil Kessel's hot, so you're asking the wrong person on looks. Like that, he's not my type. I think he's a
Yeah,
good,
I'm probably a better judge of guys than you are. But anyway, okay. So the next tier is playoff caliber. There's 5 teams in this tier. Calgary, Winnipeg, Minnesota. Makes sense. Florida and the Penguins. They project the Penguins to have 96.5 points.
Here's my first off. Calgary, they were on that cusp last year, but I don't know if they have what it takes to do it again. I feel
think
like last year was a real big flash in the pan for them. And I hate to say it because I don't hate Calgary. Or Daryl Sutter was the one who wasn't he the coach?
I don't know. Lots
They
going on in
fired him.
Calgary.
Yeah, there was a lot. Penguins. You want to talk about the
We'll
Penguins?
talk about the Penguins
Let's
last.
just
We'll
go.
talk about the Penguins
Okay.
last. Yeah, I mean Florida, surprise team.
I think it was a fluke last year too. I feel like they were a fluke. I
No,
think the reason that they won was because they went up against Boston that year, right? That was their first round, and they swept Boston. Wasn't that
yeah,
them?
and remember, Boston was the team. I don't know if they swept them, but Boston was the team that was like broke the record for most regular season wins and most regular season
Yeah,
points. So
that's
it's
what
like,
you
oh
don't
my
want to
God,
do.
Boston's exactly. That's what you don't want to do. Boston, and that's the thing. Boston peaked at the wrong time. Boston peaked early, and Florida peaked at the perfect time. You peak at the playoffs. That's all. That's kind of what sucks is it's not, maybe the best team. It's a team that gets hot at the best time.
Well, I think what happened was once you get to the point, like you get you're basically you got in, you squeaked in. Now you're against the team that has won like every game that they played in the regular season. And the problem is, you know, I get that. Yeah, it was Boston in that. And okay, yeah, it was like they didn't sweep them. It was they lost one game.
But still, they basically Florida like steamrolled over everybody until they reached the finals, and then
The thing is Florida had that big boost though. They were decent enough to make the playoffs. They were just getting in hot. You're beating a team that has blasted their load the entire regular season. They're tired. And you get that extra ego boost. It's like we took down the President Trophy winner who won like all but 2 games this regular season. Of course you're going to just start blasting through. What I don't think they're as good as they perceive to be. I wish they would have won the cup. I think that's as close as they're going to get for a while. But I did like them.
I mean that was a fluke. I mean
If I had to root for a team on the East Coast, it was going to be for them because I hate Boston, and I'm glad that they beat them.
We all hate Boston. Boston's horrible. But okay. Speaking of Boston, there's a tier called Dark Horses, and they have nobody in that tier, but they have a tier called Cup Contenders, and there's 7 teams in this. And to me, this is a joke. These are Cup Contenders.
Carolina.
Well, okay. We'll talk about Carolina. There's 2 teams of Cup favorites.
Okay.
Cup favorites is Carolina and Edmonton. Carolina is supposed to be a Cup favorite. I don't know about that.
That's because they did pretty well last year, and
they
did
what?
well the past few years. But I would put Colorado over them. I would.
Yeah. Okay. So here's who they have. The last 7 teams who they have Cup contenders. We'll start in the West. Colorado, Las Vegas, Dallas. Makes a lot of sense. I was
really hoping for Dallas, but
Dallas is my dark horse team. I think they're gonna go far. I think they might win it.
If they can continue with what they did last year, I don't know who they lost and who they gained. That's the thing. Like
Right.
I didn't hear anything, and I pick up on stuff here and there. I don't remember hearing anything about them. If they can continue what they did last year, I feel like they're going to go as far. I think they clicked as a team. I think they did very well. I wanted them to win. I didn't want to see Vegas in it. But I will put my heart and soul in the Colorado Avalanche because that's my West Coast team.
That's a sharp team. That's a
And
sharp
what's
team.
his
So
face is back.
what's his face?
Uh,
McKinnon.
yeah, he
Yeah.
should be back because he was out last year.
Okay. And then the East. This just makes me laugh.
Toronto.
Toronto, New York Rangers, the
Mm.
New Jersey Devils, and Boston. No,
So
no,
here's the
no.
thing. This is why, though. This is why the dude picked it, or at least why I think he did. One, the Rangers do look good, but I don't like them, but it is what it is. Jersey has been looking really decent.
Okay.
They were a team we
Jersey,
struggled against.
Jersey, I could see going all the way.
I don't
They
think they
look
will go all the way because you know what? The
amazing.
West Coast will stomp them. I don't think they're fast, though. They are fast. I feel like
They're missing something. They're missing something.
there is something there that they can't over that hump. Like, so yeah, they're fantastic against most of the East. Okay. Fantastic. There's just something, of course, they're beating the Penguins. Penguins couldn't even make the playoffs. But like, there's just, I don't know if it's like
I don't
somebody
know.
it's like a Sidney Crosby almost. If they had a Sidney Crosby on there or an Ovechkin on that
That's
team,
the thing. They need a star. And I know they tried to get one at the deadline. So they tried. Was
Was
it
it Sidney
Timo
Crosby?
something from what's that?
Nothing.
Nothing. Whatever. Um. uh, so yeah. So New Jersey, I could see going far. Boston, no, 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 no. They're going back. They lost two of their biggest players. Hello, they're on the decline. They lost Bergeron and David Krejci. Down. They're going
Oh my God, you did
down.
that? Though I thought that the Boston wasn't going to do well when they lost their goalie. Gosh, when was that? Was that last year? The year before last? I
And
didn't
then
think they were gonna.
yeah, I mean, they were. I mean, they had, I mean, they broke the record for regular season points. I mean, they were amazing. So,
Well, but I don't think they're gonna be as good as that again. I think it was
um,
just a really good because they have been pretty consistent. I'm not saying they haven't been. I just don't think that they have. I don't think they're going to do it again this year. I think that was their run, and they lost to Florida
yeah,
because they shouldn't have
that could have been it. They
lasted
could
through
have
all those
peaked.
games.
They could have peaked. Hey, okay, they had like one of the greatest, like, like periods where they acquired players when they got Bergeron and Krejci and who's the dude that licks people?
Oh, Marchand.
Marchand. They had like one of the greatest periods of acquiring people, and that's awesome. And they rode that wave, but that wave is over. Now you're stuck with the dude that licks people.
Well, the problem, yeah, he's their captain now, isn't he? Didn't
Yeah,
he get the
yeah.
captain?
He's teaching the whole team how to lick people.
That's assault. But okay. The problem with them is that
Don't try this at home, kids.
yeah, they had a lot of. I think like on the off season, they had problems with the cap space because they had people that they brought in, which was fantastic, but they didn't have the space to keep them. Kind of like a Toronto situation where they were having some issues. I think they had because they had top players, top names, like really big names, and at some point you can't,
You can't sustain it. It can't
no.
last forever. You're right. You have your window. You have your window where you have,
Like when you
your
win every regular season game, that was your window.
that was your window. Yeah.
And Florida came
Yeah,
up.
the cap is the cap is going to catch up to you. The Rangers, I could see it, but the
I don't
Rangers
think they could
also
win it.
have,
I
I don't
don't
think
think they're
so.
gonna win it.
They have the goaltending, but they rely on cup. I can't say that dude's name.
Caco, Capo,
Him.
Capo.
Um, and Lafreniere, which, by the way, your number one overall pick is a bust. He's a bust.
Look how
Ha
excited you are about
ha.
that. I mean, we've had a bunch of busts in our lives, but
yeah, but not number one overall picks. When we get the number one overall pick, Crosby Lemieux, we hit. Okay.
well, when you tank it on purpose too. But
Yeah. Yeah. Heck yeah, we did.
they also had that Azerbaijan. I can't think of his name. I hate him with the longer hair. I can see his face, but I forget his name, so just calls him Azerbaijan.
And okay, so they're calling Edmonton a cup favorite, which makes me laugh. No, no.
I don't see them winning. I don't see them winning. I just feel like
they're never going to the cup.
You just don't want a Canadian team to win.
Well,
I mean, neither does Bettman, and you might be him in disguise for all I know. But I don't think they're that bad. I just don't like McDavid. I don't, and I don't know why. I feel bad.
I feel bad too, because to me, McDavid reminds me so much of Lemieux. And in those early years, you're too young. You're a baby. But in those early years of Lemieux's career, it was Lemieux and a bunch of schmucks, and he had to put the whole team on his back.
He had, because that's McDavid carrying that team. And I feel terrible for him.
Then he got Paul Coffey. Yeah. And then Mark Recchi, Kevin Stevens, and John Colin were up and coming, and still they couldn't do anything. And it wasn't until they traded for Ron Francis and Ulf Samuelsson that they decided to play defense, and that's when they won cups. And that's the thing with Edmonton, is it's basically just, it's still, they're not at that stage yet, and I don't know if they're ever going to get to that stage. But if you ever want to win a cup with McDavid, you got to get a good, solid team that's all around good, but also have a defensive game, and that's not Edmonton. They do their whole. It's real pretty in the regular season when you're all flying all over the place, but that doesn't win you cups.
I feel bad.
I'm right. You know I'm right.
He does need a better supporting cast.
He does.
They put their faith. They're rolling the dice on him, and I'm like, it's a team. It's not one guy.
It is a team, and it's not one guy, but we'll see. Anyway, so let's talk about the Penguins. A lot has changed since last year, and a lot needed to change. We got Kyle Dubas, baby.
Our GM and director of hockey operations, or whatever he is, president of hockey operations.
I'd pull the same thing. If they named you governor, you would do the same thing. You would say, "That's it.
I'm also lieutenant governor.
I'm also lieutenant governor." And by the way, we're not having elections anymore. I'm governor for life.
Listen,
by the way, I'm declaring it.
My running mate is always Stick Stickley. Oh, are you too old for that?
I don't know who that is.
Stick Stickley was a popsicle stick with eyes from Nickelodeon back.
I don't. No idea.
Send you a picture.
No idea. Anyway, okay, so let's talk about what's changed and what's stayed the same with the Penguins. Let's go with the first line first. You have Crosby, Raquel, and Rust. Maybe this will be the year that Raquel stays up with that line instead of flip-flops all the time.
Well, he did look pretty okay when they did some preseason games. I'm sorry. I was not the happiest with the preseason games, but that last one that looked like they finally had something. It still needs work. I've
learned this from the Steelers. The preseason means nothing. I also learned
we've never really, as far as I remember, and I could be wrong, lost every preseason game except for last year when we didn't make the playoffs.
That doesn't matter.
There was a game showing that we weren't going to stick together.
So there was a game when they first got Phil Kessel, who by the way actually is hot.
Hey, by the way, he's still not signed, is he?
Hey, bring him. Come on, Phil. Come on.
He said he doesn't have to play every game. He's like, I'm cool with the Iron Three dying, and I think he was going to be cheap. I mean, sign him sign him and put him in Wilkes-Barre.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So the year they got Phil Kessel was the year they still had that dingaling junior coach, Mike Johnston. But anyway, there was a preseason game where it was like it was basically Crosby, Malkin, Kessel, and Letang just goofing around, and they scored like 8 goals. It was like the most fun thing ever. I'm like, oh my god, this is gonna be so amazing. And then they get to the regular season and go to hell and got their coach fired. But anyway, so my point is preseason means nothing.
I think that they purposely threw games to get him fired. I don't think they liked his style. I don't think they liked what he was doing. And I think they purposely got him.
Cool.
They could do that again,
Hey,
and I would be okay with that.
no. Sullivan's there for life. He's like Dubas. He has installed emergency powers. He is coach for life. Anyway, the thing about the first line is I think Raquel is okay. Crosby, I think, has a lot to prove. I think he was heck hella pissed about missing the playoffs and what happened last year.
Oh,
So
he
I
should
think
be.
he's going to be super motivated. But Brian Rust, get your crap together, bro.
He didn't.
He
I know
sucked
it was
last
just the
year.
playoffs, but like or just the preseason, but I didn't see that fire in him. Like I haven't, and I know, yes, it's an I don't know, exhibition, preseason, whatever you want to call it. It's still like this is the time to try to see what works with each other and what clicks. And I don't see him hungry this year. Sid, that last game, listen, him just popping somebody makes me happy. It makes me think that there's some fire left in there.
I think Crosby is super motivated. Super
Now, is
motivated. It's gonna be
Malkin
fun.
or is Malkin super overly upset and going to
Oh
take stupid
God.
penalties?
Oh God. Don't get me started about him. Um, okay, so that's your first line. Yeah, Rust, get your act together. Second line, here's where it gets interesting. Obviously, Malkin. Then you have, instead of Zucker, now you have Riley Smith, who is the big
Mm-hmm.
uh free agent, the first major acquisition for Dubas. And basically he'll be on the left side, and basically he's like another Zucker. He is known as a tireless worker at both ends of the ice. So great. We'll see. Whoop-de-doo.
Face.
Uh and then who's going to be on the other wing? Nylander? I don't know.
I don't
He
know.
was just put on waivers. I don't know if he's going to be in. I don't know
I
if that was
don't
a
know
clerical thing. I don't know. That's weird. So we'll see.
who was it on the last who was him on the last preseason? Like
I don't
who
know.
was
I don't know.
I forget. I won't
I don't
lie
know.
to you.
Um,
It was the first time I got to actually watch it because the Pirates were over, so I finally got that Pittsburgh channel swapped over to the Pittsburgh channel. And I'm telling you, I'm living for it because every time I turn it on during the day, it's like Sidney Crosby inside story, Pittsburgh Penguins versus the Philadelphia Flyers, November 15th, 2005. Crosby wins his first game winner. It was like all this weird stuff. I'm like, I'm loving this.
okay. So what we're not, what we didn't, what we glossed over, little detail. Jake Gensel will be back really soon.
Oh,
So,
he
Ra-
yes.
so Raquel will be on Malkin's wing, and then Gensel will be on the top line.
Okay.
Sorry.
Well, will Russ knock what's his face down?
You know
When
what? You know what I want with Rust? I think Rust would be an ideal third liner. I don't think he's good for the first line anymore.
no, see,
Yeah.
I think the problem is he kind of comes in spurts. I need some consistency, but I think he has it. Problem is, Zucker looked real nice last year because when you're coming up for a contract, you're going to work real hard. Um, and go to Vegas or Seattle or wherever he's at. Now, where did he end up?
Who?
Jason Zucker.
Arizona.
I
I don't know why. I think that was one of those, like, we need money for we need to
hit the cap floor.
we need to hit the cap floor, so let's just spend a lot of money on
But
someone.
he will. I think he's a good worker for that team.
Listen, Arizona is a lovely place. It's a dry heat. That's cool. You just want to hang out for there for a year or two. That's cool. That's cool. He'll get traded or something. So yeah, so that's the second line. The third line, the center, new center, Lars Eller, former Capital. He is basically a good defensive third liner, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. They for years they tried to do the replicate HBK or
Can't.
have this awesome, third line center. Like, bro, that's not happening. Now you just got a solid dude in there who's, won't do anything offensively, but is defensively responsible, and he's a good penalty killer. I'm fine with that. I'm fine. That's fine. Then you have Drew O'Connor, probably on the third line, left wing. We don't know, what is Drew O'Connor. Is he just a dude that's just barely going to be on the team, or is he, the next great power forward, or is he just a
He looked
schmuck?
okay the other night.
He's another
But-
one that goes in spurts.
Yes. And is he a two-way or is he just up with us? Can he be put
I
on
think he's a one-way, I think, but that I'm not sure about that. If he goes down, something's wrong, because it's like, bro, you've been doing the up and down thing for years now. Let's stay up.
Yeah, well, get it together.
Get it together, man. Get it together.
You
Like
know,
us, we have it
up in
together.
200s yelling, shoot the puck. 100%.
Yeah, we know what we're talking about. And then also on the third line is Matt Nieto, who I don't remember how they got him, but he is basically just a solid bottom six guy. The Penguins were really eager to get him. He has a little bit of offense, but he's known as a relentless worker and good skater. So cool. Yay. And then on the fourth line, I'll save the best for last. The center might be Noel Akari.
I think it's a ch, but I could be wrong.
That's probably Achari. Dude's Italian. I should know these things. I'm sorry, Italians. He is basically called an ideal fourth line center for the Penguins. He's only 5'10", 209 pounds, but he plays with a physical edge and generally fares well in one-on-one situations. Okay. Cool. The other person on the fourth line is I'm not sure. Is it Jansen Harkins? I think this is a dude they just got. They got him off of waivers from Winnipeg. Jansen Harkins. But he skates well and seems to have a high compete level, and so there you go.
Oh, wow.
He's on your bottom six.
He's a good-looking dude. He has a really nice hair, everyone.
Really?
Yeah, and he's only 26. That was in the realm of possibility.
I gotta see what this guy looks like.
In the picture he has, it shows him with like a mullet, almost as good as a Yager mullet.
No way.
Not as like
let's all
curly and sexy, but
you think he's good looking? That is a homely, ugly dude.
Did you look at this picture here?
That's a picture I'm looking at. What?
No,
you're looking at the wrong picture.
Look at the next one.
That's an ugly dude. What kind of nose is that?
Beautiful eyes. He's not. Well, if he's ugly, then I have a shot.
Anyway,
fantastic.
Last but not least, the cockroach. You can't get rid of him. Jeff Carter.
Hey, he scored the other day.
I don't care.
Listen, here's the thing. I was going to text you before that game and be like, I bet you Jeff Carter scores, because every time you hate on him, he comes out of nowhere and scores.
Jeff Carter has been around since the Roosevelt administration. I'm talking about Teddy Roosevelt. Anyway,
he's younger than you, I think.
That's not saying much. He's younger than Jaromir Jagr. Great.
Yeah, well, Yager's just
bring back Jagr for one game. How amazing would that be if he just showed up on the power play?
He won't do. He's already a professional player over there.
He owns the team or something like that.
Well, his dad does, and he's trying to help him out.
Anyway, oh really? I didn't know that. Okay,
yeah.
So on the defense, big changes to the defense. You have your first line, your first pairing, Letang and Ryan Graves, who is the other big free agent acquisition. Basically
I'm just so glad Dumoulin's gone. Can I
oh,
say
so
that?
me too.
I
Oh
feel
God.
terrible for saying that, but man, he hasn't been good for a while. I just haven't liked his
He just wasn't,
production.
you know what? Ever since he got hurt, he just never recovered from the injury. And it happens sometimes. Like, oh well.
But you know what? Though, why does it when someone like him go down and suddenly he's not that great? I don't hear everybody over there yelling about how crappy he is or how he's terrible and the media didn't drag him. But God forbid, and I'm gonna defend this dude, and I know I shouldn't, but poor Matt Murray is a mental case, but everyone shat on him so much that the dude just got worse.
Maybe because
Murray had
you're
like 2 fantastic years, 3, and
because you're one of 6 defensemen, but you're the only goalie, and the goalie is like the one of the
no,
most
there's a
important.
backup, and there should have been somebody good, and you know what it is? Sorry, first off, it goes down to the fact that everyone's like, well, where's Fleury at now? I'm like, well, Fleury was pretty shitty too, and you almost ran him out because you made him a mental case too.
When Fleury was here, you run him out of town. That's what you do. But then when he's gone, like, oh, so we wanted to drive him to the
Fleury
airport
had to
many
go to
times.
a therapist for
He
God's
did. He
sake,
had to go to he had to get
which Matt Murray needs. I feel
I
bad
hope
for
I
him.
hope Matt Murray's okay. I hope he's okay.
I really hope he rebounds. I really would love him just to start just being real good. I feel bad for him. Go ahead, sorry.
So Ryan Graves is the big one. He's basically replaces Dumoulin. Then you have Marcus Pettersson and Erik Karlsson. Oh boy.
Well, listen, like I sent you that screenshot. Just what was that yesterday? No worries, everybody. The Pens had the PPG season ticket holders. They got to watch the practice, and EK65. Wow, can he skate?
There you go.
Goalies looked good too. Thank you, Heather, from the skinny. We hate skinny jeans. Women's
who ran that group ran Matt Murray out of town
that
because he wore
group ran
skinny
Matt
jeans.
Murray out of Pittsburgh.
It's going to be extremely interesting to see how Erik Karlsson fits in with this team. Just rounding out the defense, you have POJ, and I guess Chad Ruedel is your 6th defenseman. Like
of all people,
he's still around.
He's still kicking, man.
Really?
I mean,
we're still doing this with the Chad Ruedel.
I know.
He's he's a perfect 7th defenseman. He's a perfect guy to play 1 or 2 games when someone's hurt. He's not your regular dude, people. Come on.
But I do like how every time, and I probably sound like a horrible hypocrite because I'll shit on these defensemen, but as soon as I do, they show up. I don't know what it is, but I can look at you and say, "Wow, Letang looks crappy," and then all of a sudden he'll score a goal.
Yeah,
which is what I'm like.
The other big decision of the year was bringing back Tristan Jarry, which I still have a huge problem with, but hey, he seems healthy now. Whatever.
I was a little disappointed in his work on that last game, preseason game. But everybody's still trying to find their way, and I think that he wouldn't have faced as much shots if defense, all that.
Well, you know what? Guess what? If you're hoping for the Penguins to play defense, you are out of luck because they got
Karlsson, and wow,
Erik Karlsson is the least defensive player of all time. He is the most offensive defenseman ever. Besides, next to Chris Letang. Yeah.
Listen, if Karlsson stays healthy, if his ankle is good, that's another scary thought.
Well, that's the thing ankles. Is somebody's going to get hurt, unfortunately, and I don't want to talk about it, but somebody's going to get hurt.
I'm saying coming back because he had an ankle injury. Isn't Gensel's his ankle as well? Was it an ankle?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
and that's scary to come back from because you're on your feet. It's not like, you know what I'm saying?
Like, right. You definitely need your feet and your ankles and stuff to be in top condition. The other change is no more Casey DeSmith, who gets traded every other day. Now it's Alec Nedoljkovic. And that should be interesting because if Tristan Jarry does suck, you better have a good backup. And
Well, and they have a couple good ones down there in Wilkes-Barre too.
let's
They seem
see.
to really have stacked some decent goalies.
Let's see. We'll see. We'll see.
You just
So,
hate Jari. We
oh, very much. Very much.
you're
That
gonna
was
try to run him out. I will be his therapist.
go for it. Go for it. I tried to run him out last year. He's a garbage
Smith
human.
was not the answer.
No, he wasn't. No, the Smith was not the answer. That was a major shortcoming. One of the many shortcomings of Hextall was not getting a better backup goaltender.
They could have
But
had a
anyway,
veteran at the end.
they
You
could
know,
have.
I
They
think it
could
would
have.
have been a helpful situation.
So there's almost half the team is changed, which I love. I love that they needed to make changes. They made changes. I'm thrilled with that. But I have a feeling at least the first month is going to be a disaster.
Oh, yeah, and that's the thing though. They either start real hot and they cool off, or they start like hell and then they start to click.
Right.
And you know, I feel like there's some tweaks that need to be made to these lines. I feel like these guys are still going to need time to figure each other out. I feel like they could make the playoffs. I don't think it's going to be like number 1, number 2. I think it's more like a 6 or 7.
I think they'll barely make the playoffs, and that's fine.
I feel like I think they're gonna be all right.
I think they're eventually they're going to be all right. And if they actually, I don't know how this is all going to work. I don't know how, because basically when you acquire Erik Karlsson, and you have a Crystal Tang on your team, and remember, those dudes each play like 30 minutes each. So
Yeah.
basically there's no need. POJ and Chad Ruedel can bust out a novel. They just pull out a book on the bench.
No, someone's got to play defense. Those dudes want to score goals.
Pettersson and Graves are going to do all the defense. It's going to be every shift is going to be Letang and Karlsson trying to score, and Ryan Graves and Pettersson just desperately trying to hold off the rest of the team. It's going to be like a 4-on-1 coming back the other way every single time.
And then you wonder why Jari's not that great.
Right.
Oh,
and then we'll blame Jari. Exactly. We'll blame Jari. Yeah. So I don't know how this is all going to work. It's just going to be super interesting. I have a feeling maybe every game will be 7-5, and that'll be exciting. That'll be fun.
I want there to be like 4 games in a row where Jari just gets shutouts, just so you have to shut.
I think it could happen. It could happen. I mean, basically they told him, like, dude, cut the crap. We need you. It's like, we'll give you this money, but we need you to step up. So yeah, I could see him, because he has a potential. He has a potential to be like a top 10 goalie, maybe even a top 5 goalie. But the dude got it. I mean, I have yet to see it, and he's been in the Penguins system for like,
yeah. Actually, I was going to send you a screenshot of a Facebook memory from years ago, a couple of years ago, where I was like, I'm going to the game and I get to see Tristan Jarry play a really good goaltender.
The funny thing is, Jarry was the chosen one before Matt Murray.
Yeah, but Matt Murray, I sat there and watched that dude have 14 AHL shutouts when it was like the record or something. I'm like, this guy, I started watching, I'm like, this guy's going to be good. And he was, with potential still be good. Just some mental
but Jari was supposed to be the chosen one before Matt Murray. He outlived Matt Murray. and Matt Murray's been gone for years now, and Jari is still here. So he's just been around forever.
He's also a Sully guy.
Who?
Sully likes him.
We'll see. That's my problem with this team, is Sully likes his guys, regardless of how they play, which
I want to see
really
Sullivan fired up. I want to see that old Sullivan who used to scream at people and drop F-bombs on the bench.
Right.
Not
Let's go.
Let's
go.
Well, where's the Boston in you, dude?
Yeah.
Come on.
Gotta park the car and have a yard. That's the guy we want. I want a guy that moving forward. We'll see.
That was like
what?
I can't with you.
Great.
No, I want them to do well. I feel like they could, if they click. I feel like third, fourth round is not out of the question of the playoffs.
I could see,
depending on who they're against. When they're against like young, fast teams, some aging defenseman with busted ankles isn't going to be the best bet. And you got to hope that like Graves is gonna be like, there to whoop it up.
I think eventually it'll gel. I think eventually Graves will be that shutdown defenseman, and Pedersen will be better, and POJ will be better,
and I will be thin, and I will be a beauty,
right.
a model.
But
yes.
eventually eventually the hockey things will happen. But we'll see. But at first, it's going to be, I believe, the first month of the season, maybe even into November and December, is going to be a hot mess. It is going. They're going to lose their games. They'll be up like 4-0 and still lose 6-5 or something like that. There's going to be a lot of that. There's going to be a lot of. It's going to be fun for Penguins fans if you like action, but not necessarily if you like winning. I don't think that'll be the beginning.
No, and I get it, but we'll see, because there's not, because I was counting when they said about Gensel being out for maybe like X amount of weeks. I was counting the games just to see how bad we were going to be hit. I don't think we have like the heaviest October, so it's not like,
and it sounds like he's not. It sounds like maybe he'll miss a game or two, or maybe not even any games at all.
They said, hey, he might be able to go against Chicago.
Yeah.
Now, if we can get Jari to trip up what's his face in Chicago like Fleury did, I'll take it.
That was really cute. The Bedard went in on a shootout or whatever.
That was
first off, he stumbled and
looked dope. They both looked good.
Who?
Bedard and Fleury. Fleury looked good following him. He stayed with him. He looked real good.
Come on. One more run, Fleury. Come on. Let's do it. Let's get Fleury. Let's bring the band back together. Oh my God. If Fleury comes back, that would be so cool.
Yeah.
Fleury.
Oh my God. What's Paul Coffey doing? He's still alive, right?
Seriously.
Evan Stevens popping full of some pain pills, and let's rock and roll.
Hey. Well,
you'd be okay. A couple years in him.
Hey, you'd be okay if Max Talbot and Phil Kessel came back, and Colby Armstrong.
Kessel, not Talbot. I didn't care about Talbot. Phil Kessel is a unrestricted free agent. We could get him cheap.
We could get
play defense.
We could get all of HBK. Hagelin just retired.
But bring his eye. Back. He has an eye injury. He can't like see or something.
You only need one. Put a patch on the dude and make him a pirate. Yeah, Bonino. We already got Bonino. We could bring him back.
I mean,
we
let him go though.
We got it. We got to get the band back together. Anyway, I think we accomplished nothing in the last hour, but that's okay. We had fun. We'll see how the Penguins do. I'm just happy hockey's back.
I know.
Wonderful. Awesome. Okay, bye.
Bye.